So the preseason AP Top 25 has been released today, and 7 Big Ten teams have made it in. Now, I think looking at the top 25, it was pretty good. I think it was pretty accurate, uh, and the Big Ten being placed where they're at, these teams being placed where they're at, I think is pretty good, except for one. You guys know how I feel about Wisconsin. I don't know why they're this high, honestly. Somebody please explain to me why they're so high. Um, Honestly, I don't think Wisconsin. I think Wisconsin's like 2018. They're not going to be ranked. At least they're not like 6 or anything like how they were in 2018. You know, belonged nowhere near that spot. Um, and going into the Michigan-Wisconsin game, I said Wisconsin's overrated, then we destroyed them. Yes, I'm a Michigan fan. For the ones who haven't figured that out, I'm a Michigan fan. But looking at this, besides Wisconsin, I like it. I think it looks good. Honestly, I'd put Iowa where Wisconsin is, and I'd put Wisconsin out. Nebraska, I think that's fine. I think that they may end up being a little bit better than 2024, but you really can't give them a whole lot. I mean, I would say they're kind of lucky to be in the top 25 because it's just because of their historically bad season last year. They didn't have a great season at all. They started out with many losses in a row. But they had some close games, and people think that they're definitely a contender for the Big Ten championship. And I'll make a video. I have a planned video for possible Big Ten championship games. But Nebraska, I think that's a good spot for them. You could say that they don't belong in the top 25. I think they do. Towards the bottom, though. That's a good spot for them. You could put them at 25 even, but I think 24 is pretty good. Iowa, I would say that that's a pretty good spot for them for now. They could be higher. I would put them at 19 or 18 or whatever. Michigan State, they had a pretty bad season last year, 7-6. They had a terrible offense, but that was because of injuries. And Brian Lewerke should look a lot better this year, with his team, with a lot of returning players from those injuries. I mean, Michigan State was definitely a 10-win team last year, and they could have competed with the juggernauts of the Big Ten East. But I mean, you can't put them too high because of their 7-6 season, but I think that they're definitely a top 25 team this year. If they can stay away from injuries, and just get better on offense, they'll be really good, especially since they return a really good defense that forces you to throw the ball because their run defense is just ridiculously good. And that should be the same this year. If they can stay away from injuries, they're going to be very good. So I think 18, you could say they could be lower, you could say they could be higher, but I think 18 is a good spot for them. But I do think that they should end the season a little bit higher. Penn State. Shouldn't say that they're like rebuilding or anything. I said this in the Rutgers prediction video. Penn State, I think 15 is a good spot for them. They're definitely a 9-win team this year, I would say. Maybe 10, And I'll also have a Penn State prediction video coming out next. That's my next prediction video. I promise. I promise this time. But Penn State, 15's good. 15's good. You could put them a little bit higher. You could put them a little bit lower. I would say 15's good now because they're still going to have a good season, even though they're losing Trace McSorley, even though they're losing Miles Sanders, both to the NFL. I think Penn State at 15 is a good spot for them right now. Michigan at 7. Yeah, good spot for them. I would say you could say that they belong lower, like much lower, but I don't think so. I think 7's good. Have I mentioned I'm a Michigan fan? Yeah, I'm a Michigan fan. Michigan at 7. Ohio State at 5. Now, if they hadn't lost so badly to Purdue, you could say that they could be higher. But 5 is a good spot. You could even put them at 6. You could put them at 4. I don't think any higher than that, but I definitely think with their defense this year, with an offense that should be improved, or a defense that it will definitely be improved. They didn't have the greatest defense by any means last year. Now their defense should be one of the best in the country. Best in college football this year. Top 10 defense, in my opinion. With Michigan State and Michigan. All three of them will have top 10 defenses this year. But in offense, they have Justin Fields. They've got no more Dwayne Haskins. So, we don't know how Justin Fields is going to do, the transfer from Georgia. We don't know how they're going to do, how he's going to do. He didn't look too good in the spring game. I mean, that's just a spring game. So, that really doesn't show much. But, Ohio State at 5. I think that's a good spot for them. I think this is pretty good for where they're at, all except for Wisconsin. I don't know why they're there. I'm not all that high on Wisconsin. And you can call me an idiot all you want in the comments. It's not going to change my mind. Wisconsin is an overrated team. In 2018, 2019, I think that this is still too high for them. I don't know why they're ranked anyway. The only thing I can think of is Jonathan Taylor, their run game. And their defense, I guess, should be better. But I don't think Wisconsin's really that much of a team that's going to be competing. Of course, they'll be in the talks because they always are. They're usually towards the top of the West Division. And they definitely could be a West Division threat. To go to the Big Ten Championship, but they wouldn't win the Big Ten Championship. They'd get embarrassed by whoever they play. And that's just my opinion. I don't have anything against Wisconsin. I just hate that people think that they're better than they really are. I mean, I guess a lot of people feel that way towards Michigan, so I know how they feel. But that's the Big Ten in the top 25. There's 7 of them. I think that's pretty good. So 7 of Big Ten teams make the preseason top 25. How do you think that these teams will end the season? How do you think that any other Big Ten teams will make it into the top 25? Will any of these teams be taken out? It's a possibility. Wisconsin is a definite possibility, but we'll see what happens. That's the video. That's my kind of reaction. In terms of the entire top 25, I think it's mostly pretty good. Clemson at 1, where they belong. Alabama at 2, Georgia at 3, Oklahoma 4. That sounds pretty good. That sounds reasonable. Notre Dame's at 9. Who the heck was at 6? I think it was LSU. And then I don't remember after that. I only looked at it once, and I put in the Big Ten here, and then I talked about it, because that's what I do. So that's the video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.